Hi everyone, hi Mom. Okay, if you hear any background noise, try and ignore it. My brother's here finishing off my craft room, putting in the crown molding. And yes, I will do a video when it's all done and filled and everything's up. In the meantime, I have finally finished a journal. I have a lot of chaos in my house at the moment, so I haven't really had the chance to sit down and craft. But I'll run through this one quick. There's a lot of mixed media. It is so different than what I normally do. The digital kit I used is Spring Chic and Ephemeral Garden from Ephemera's Vintage Garden, which will be linked in the description box below. So I combined two kits because I wanted it, pretty chunky, and they were already printed out, so I just put them together because they actually look really good together. Originally the kit measured I think 5x7, and I made it bigger. So there are some small pages and larger pages. And on the front is just a bunch of layering of lace and appliques. There's stenciling, stickles, pearls, butterbee scrap corners. I distressed the edges, stitched it. And I did stitch down the spine as well, and I'll show you why in a second. I pounced paint, which is the Prima paints, and on the back added another image, and again distressed everything, pounced some paint on there as well. And this time I did a seam binding closure with a Tim Holtz hitch fastener. So we'll just pop inside. So this is what I was talking about. This is why I stitched it. So I stitched this in here, and this is open, so you can actually tuck. You can only go so far, obviously, because I stitched across the bottom there. I did run this piece of craft text through an embossing folder, and then I rubbed it over with some of the paint. And originally this was supposed to go on the outside, but it was covering up too much of the picture and stuff, so I thought it kind of looked cool on the inside. Anyway, here we go. I believe this one's part of the Spring Chic collection, and I didn't stamp. There's lots and lots of room for writing, and I left it purposely without stamps so that you could go ahead and do your own thing. I did add a lot of ephemera. I'm not even sure how many pages there are. It's quite chunky. There's some tracing paper which has been sprayed. I did print out on some vintage music paper, and this is I believe from Graphics Fairy. And this is a new paper collection. I don't know the name. I can't remember, but I stitched on them, made them into postcards, and then I made a little spot for you to write in. I got that idea from Yvonne, but I think originally it's maybe a Paula Lemon. I'm not dead certain on that. I added the antennas onto this part so it would look, otherwise you'd be hitting the little antennas all the time. Added some lined paper. There's flip-ups, and I think that's part of one of the collections. So you see, this is the original size. This is Ephemeral Garden, and I didn't want to waste them, so I just added them. I get asked a lot where this lined paper came from. It was from an Etsy seller, but she's gone out of business, and yeah, I've had it for a really long time. Added an envelope, and then a bunch of little ephemera pieces, so a tag, and that's from the collection. And then an index card, which I've tea-stained with a doily sitting on top of it. I did spray the envelope with some Lindy's and added the trim, and then on this side I added the hole punch or thumb hole, and another postcard which I've stitched on as well. And then just some layering here of little pieces that I've had. I think some of it's from DCWV, some of it's from other paper pads. I don't know. I just collect these things. Sorry if I'm moving around too much. So you can see there is lots of space for writing, and some of it's lined, some of it isn't. And then this was part of the kit. It came like that, and I decided just to make it into kind of a booklet and stitched around it. This was a freebie, and I believe that's from Nectaria, who is Nectar's Creations, and she gave us a freebie with the little tag. Layered doily and some flowers. I believe those are Recollections. And then on this side of the page, the doily folds out so you can write on the full page. Made an envelope, and in the envelope I've put 2 of my postcards. These are in the store. And this was part of one, I think, the Ephemeral Garden, and then made a tag, stitched on that one. And here I've added the little cutout with February, because that's actually when I did make the journal. And then on the back is my information. And then I added one of these little cards from Tim Holtz. And I'm thinking now I had something else. Oh yeah. I was bearing something I was going to add. I'll show you that in a second. Yeah, so I just distressed it, inked over it, but it's my first initial, so I put that in there as well. And then I made this one, and I'm going to do a tutorial on this. This is a plain card, and all I've done is added, this was from Kelly Gilbert, this pretty little napkin. So I will do a short tutorial on that to show you how I got that look. You can write on it because I experimented on another card. And this one has a couple little tags in it. This was also gifted. I can't remember who that's from. I want to say Sheila, but I'm not sure. And then it flips up so you can write underneath it, and then it's a pocket. And these are also in the store. These little tags. This was part of Ephemeral Garden, and then I made, used the paper, made another postcard. Actually, I think it came with the postcard already on it. Yeah, it did. But so I made this into a belly band, but it also flips up, so you can actually write on the whole page. It just tucks under there. Like so. And did some layering here on a doily. This was also a couple pieces of the ephemera. And then there's another piece of ephemera in here that upside down. I did put the lines on it. And again on that side there's more index card. This was part of the ephemera. Another little tag. And another flap. This is almost like a page in the Queen Bee collection as well. And then I just took some note paper and I sprayed it, and then you've got extra writing on there, added some trim. And the blue is gelatos. Again, I really love using those now. Another of my postcards that's in the store. And then just some layering. This does come out, this is ephemera from the kit. And I just layered those with some old trims and whatnot. There's the other one that I printed out, and I believe that's also from the Graphics Fairy. Part of some ephemera, and just added a tag. So see the center? It's all embossed. I thought that turned out really cool. I like that look. But I doubled it because I like doing that on the spine just to give it some extra strength. And another piece from that's the Graphics Fairy. And then this one is just a little flip open. Again, that's inspiration from Yvonne White. And that's also mason jars in the store. And this was from, I think it was Calico Etsy store. I printed it out on, excuse me, photo paper and left it open at the top for a couple little tags. And you have to get them down far enough or you can't flip the page up. So there you go, all kinds of writing space there. And another flip. I like how a lot of her pages she's added lines, so even though you've got the graphic, you've got a lot of lines to journal on. Another one of the postcards that I made. And this one I just tea stained and then I just stamped with the Heidi Swap stamp. It's really thick. I don't know where I got that, but unless I did it, I could have. I don't know. Butterfly, Tim Holtz, another postcard, and also I wanted to show you here at the top. This is a doily die that I had, so I just glued it along here and then used my, it's an oval punch, and cut out the center just so it had like a little, you know, collar. That's what it looks like. And this paper here, it's really quite thick. It's just kids construction paper, but it's really thick. And I got that at the dollar store. And another flap. And then these are also in my store. This I think was Christie Art maybe. And then that's Ephemeral Vintage Garden, so there's lines on it. You can journal on that. And these tiny little ones I got from eBay. And I tea stained it. And they are glassine bags. Aren't you proud of me? I'm remembering stuff. And another envelope. And in here I did a tag, sort of postcardy type deal, and yeah, just added some trim and stuff. That's also in my store, and I just made it into a flap. I kind of like the plain pages with no stamping. I think you can just then be really creative yourself. And another little tag which I've stamped on. This also flips up, and then there's several pieces of ephemera. That's also in my store. And this is some Kirby Teasdale, or I guess it does go that way. But I made a booklet out of some paper that I got from the dollar store. So kind of turned out cute. And that's also in the store, just a plain postcard. And we're almost done. So I told you, it's a pretty chunky book. Again, I did the belly band type dealy bob. And then there's a postcard in my store, as well as the seed pack in my store. Again, I think I used all 4 of them. I think there's 4, maybe 8. Some layering, and then another tag that I've just really baked and stitched on. And again, some more. This is from Victoria Designs, that's it. And a little tag, and that's from a paper pad. And again, notepad. This also she included in her ephemera kit. And I've done a stamped tag. And this one I've also done on a plain card, so this was gifted from somebody. And I distressed the other side with a sander. And you can write on that because I've taken pretty much all the shine off there and then just stitched around. And this cute little envelope I did on my punch board. Now the measurements are not included on the punch board, so when I do the tutorial for the plain cards, I will include measurements for these tiny little guys. Now they're really small. Just 2 1/8 of an inch by 3 1/8 of an inch. So they're really tiny. And I've also got a cute little, this is from Denise. She gave me these little guys. And then just the little Tim Holtz paper clip to kind of hold the flap down. I love this one. That's also from the Graphics Fairy. And one of my butterflies that I cut out of resist paper, and then I used my gelatos on it. And then I stamped a tag, and then that's the last of the tags that I've done. And there you go, that's it. That's the book. She's really chunky, and she will be listed in my store. And I love the way it turned out. I'm tempted to keep it, but I'm gonna let it go. And my next book will be my Hawaii journal, and I'm not going to sell that one. That one's for me, for my trip. So we'll talk soon. Have a good day. Bye.